like I mentioned yesterday, I put my frustrations down onto paper. Every single side of my personalities or are frustrated, are not being nice to me. I'm not going to share all of it because, quite frankly, there's a lot of it, and it's personal. I think it's important for other schizophrenics to kind of understand the process, because when you do bring it out of here and onto paper, you can look at it and you can, like, it doesn't change anything, but it can in some ways make it less problematic, because you can recognize what really needs your attention and what just is. So instead of everything just being overwhelming and everything being on the same level, you can in some way kind of try and prioritize the thought processes going on in your mind. And I also reminded myself that disappointment is a time scale. Like, I am frustrated a lot with my personal stuff because of the time pressure that I'm putting on myself. So you can quite quickly alleviate frustrations and disappointments by extending or removing um, a, a scale of time, a deadline or whatever. So I'm waiting for the points in my mind where there's multiple voices have the same problem. First one that popped up was cleaning. Part of me is like, it's not clean enough. The other side is, this is too much cleaning. Like, this is too much going on. I can't maintain this. Then I've got routines. Like I mentioned, having a routine is very helpful for your life and can benefit productivity, and then you can achieve more, and that will give you gratification. But my mind hates routines, and it wants to destroy routines, and it's always pushing against routines. Then you get into work. I'll just say, in regards to me, like the fact that I need to end up managing. That was agreed, that was arranged, that I didn't have to do that anymore, and I shouldn't have to do that anymore, and I'm not being paid for that role. Yeah, and then that leads on to that I'm not actually able to do the job that I'm supposed to be doing efficiently, which is the one that I want to do. My work has now become more money orientated, or it drove me through my 20s. Yeah, then I started traveling, and yeah, when I came to Berlin, I ended up breaking my hand, and I had no money, and this was when I first time in my life took social payment, and really became aware that because my social payment wasn't enough to live, I really had to be tight with my money, and this led me to being like really living on the minimum and needing the help and support of others. And I really saw the benefit in working to live, not living to work, as far as a financial point of. I'm frustrated that I can't control my perception of things at work. That instead of instantly looking at the whole picture and seeing him from multiple angles, my first assessment is very narrow and very selfish and very, and I have to forcibly put energy into opening up my view and seeing things from every angle. So that frustrates me every time that I realize that is happening. Social, I'm not that social at the moment. Let's be honest about it. And when I am social, though, my feelings of being disconnected from people is more often than not confirmed, which is just not a nice feeling. When I am outside, because of my heightened state, it's like the warning signs of pending psychosis, or that things are getting skewed. Smells, taste, sound, light, everything gets turned up a notch. Like I find myself quite often, I have this face, and then I'm aware, I'm like, oh shit. You know, and this is just it's obviously a face of just, and this is happening a lot. And that frustrates me, because that's an unconscious habit. It's an unconscious thing. Everyone's racing, and I used to be the same, not consciously, but I liked moving, you know, I wasn't ever really going with the flow, but I liked to, you know, move quickly, in and out, you know, duck and weave, you know. I kind of look at it now as more running away than running to things. People always want to get in front of me, and they'll literally like do half parkour to jump over a set of steps just to get like in front of me instead of being beside me or walking around me. In Germany, people don't like to walk up the escalators. I shouldn't say it's a German thing, it's a very European thing, but noticeably more in Germany. Like crossing the road, people like to cross at the lights, and people like to stand on escalators. And so walking to the escalator, you know, it's a funnel, and people will like speed up to get onto the escalator, and then they just stop. And I hate standing on the escalator. Why would you stand on the escalator? You're going up slower than if you go up the stairs. But if you walk at a slow pace up the escalator, you're traveling twice as fast. That's awesome. Yeah, people stand talking to each other, not leaving the free space, whatever, you know, they're such tiny little first world bullshit wanker problems that, you know, it's not a problem. It's only a problem because I'm frustrated by it. And I'm only frustrated by it because I'm frustrated by everything, you know. So you put it on paper, and then you realize this is so fucking stupid that you are getting frustrated at this, you know. But now I can, you know, process it. Yeah, I mean, this goes on. Then I've got like, you know, perceived, you know, what comes from my disease, what comes from my paranoia, what comes from my depression, what comes from my, you know, and here I've got like controlling forces, you know, like, you know, random paranoia things of like, you know, is that the way that it is because someone made it so, or is that the way that it is because that's just the way it's turned out, or was there a design to it and now it's being misused? Like these kind of things, you know, is there destiny, is there fate, blah blah blah, you know, which is good thought exercises to have, but when they start affecting your reality, you need to be aware of it. And, you know, there's the world's kind of, if you even spend half a time on just going through the stand-up shows on Netflix, you know, you've even got this perception of where some people are like, everything happens for a reason, and other people are like, everything is just random and there's no sense to it. And, you know, they start talking about the backstory, and you know, you can understand their perception. And so I kind of see like, yeah, the mind, like you can convince yourself of anything, really. You can convince yourself of anything, and you can find a reason for anything, you know. So it's all just a perception of the mind. Like you can convince yourself that everything is random and there is no reason to anything, and you can convince yourself that absolutely everything happens for a reason. You can only do it if you're being aware of the fact that, you know, your mind has started saying, hey, this is because of this, and that's because of this, and this is, look at this, and blah, 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 you know. And you have to be aware, you know, as much as you like to think, yeah, everything is somehow correct and blah, blah, blah. You don't know. Then you got stuff like, you know, the mind goes, we're just living in a luxury cage, we're just prisons of the system, and blah, 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 you know. And I mean, a friend of mine gave me a book to read, Blackout, which is about if Europe got a terrorist attack on its power systems and went without power for 2 weeks. And yeah, this is probably not a book you should read if you're a paranoid schizophrenic. Yeah, I also have a perception that I'm running out of time. I don't know what for. And I also perceive that society is completely crumbling and we're all doomed. So it's good to be aware of these things, you know, because it's gonna affect your perception of stuff. Yeah, I mean, sick of this shit. I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of having to do this. I'm sick of having to be aware. I'm sick of having to do this. I want to just be ignorant again. I want to just, why can't I just drink and why can't I just smoke and then why can't I just keep eating meat and just you know, I want to ride motorbikes. I want to drive cars. I like fucking speedboats. I'm sick of this fucking shit. But it's so short-lived, and I've done it all, so onwards and upwards. But, you know, you got to recognize that you're sick of it. I really wish I'd done that during my drug days. I really wish I could, instead of just constantly, you know, oh, just got to get through the come down, you know, and you know, by Wednesday, Thursday, you're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I really, you know, should watch out, I'll never do that again. And by Friday, bang, I'm back doing it again. And then by Monday, it's like, oh geez, here we go, okay, gotta get through it. At no point did I go to myself, you know what, man, I am fucking sick of this shit. Yeah, anyway, yeah, I'm sick of the sorry for myself, self-pity bullshit. You know, if you're depressed and you're mentally ill, I mean, sometimes, you know, you have to accept the fact that you are gonna have to just go, oh, I'm so sorry for myself, I really have to take it, I'm sorry, bad, just, you know, fetal position, cry it out, you know. Boys don't cry, but men do. So, yeah, I get frustrated that I lose sight of my goals. I'm not noticing my achievement, and it's not about, you know, being a wanker about it. You know, that, oh, I'm so great, I'm so good. Check me out. You know, it's about just going, you know what, mate? Yeah, you could do it better, but that was pretty good. The weather is cold, and that increases my pain level. And I've been working outside in -5, and my foot doesn't like this. You know, so that's. But I have a personal frustration, and it's like, dude, you've had pain your whole life. Just deal with it. And then the parts of my, you fucking deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. Fuck this shit. No one else has to deal with this, and this is bullshit. And blah blah blah. You know, so yeah. Too many thoughts and not enough focus. Yeah, I'm trying to study, I'm trying to learn new shit, and I'm trying to, you know, be effective at work, and yeah, trying to connect with friends, and trying to do this and trying to do that, and it's like I don't have enough focus on any of it. And it's just frustrating because yeah, I've only got myself to blame for that lack of focus. Anyway, and then we're on to like the natural stuff, you know, which is it's February. I mean, it's sunnier than other Februaries, but there's just not much sun here, and I'm from Australia, and I can, you know, I got to remember my first winter in Berlin. I went fucking crazy, really. There was lots of warning signs there that I should have been aware of, but just sort of swept it under the rug. But yeah, I just said, you know, a psychiatrist friend, you know, just gave me some tablets under the counter and was like, yeah, it's just the lack of sun. You know, it's quite common for people from sunny countries to their first few winters in Europe. You know, yeah. I'm not getting enough fresh air because, yeah, you know, even the fresh air is not fresh. I'm in a city. The quality of food is really low, and I don't smoke anymore, so my taste senses and my smell senses are greatly increased, and I really, like, I bite into stuff. I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is not this is not fruit, and not enough personal space outside of my apartment. You know, as soon as you go outside, yes, you know, you're outside, yes, but your personal space is not your personal space. It's which, you know, is not a problem for people that grew up here. But I grew up with a lot of space. You know, it's Australians in their space. So look, you know, there's a lot there, and obviously, you know, you can't focus on all of it. You know, but just the action of going through and writing it out, you know, kind of makes it a little bit easier to, when something pops up that you go, no, you know what, I have assessed that, I have noticed that, and you know what, I made the conscious choice that right now that is not worth my attention. But there are things that are worth your attention, and there are things that are worth addressing and focusing on, and it's you know, taking stock. It's I think it's a beneficial thing. Yeah, you know, it's disappointing for, again, frustration and disappointment that I have to allow myself to get to this point of where I have to do this stuff. You know, it would be better if I was doing this regularly. But life gets in the way, and optimism gets in the way, and pessimism gets in the way, and you just got to keep aiming for the middle, you know. I was quite harsh on myself yesterday when I was doing this, and I mean, that would really, you know, I can't, it's not something that I could do in front of other people. It's not something that I could do on camera. That it's pretty hilarious, I have to say. Allowing yourself to be crazy for a productive cause, which is fine. It's not hurting anyone. It's not affecting anyone. And I was doing it consciously, so it's, yeah. But so I will. I will keep you posted.
Day 3 of 6 is over.